You can be off work all weekend and never actually leave it. And if your Fridays end the way most people's do, your weekend is already half gone before it starts. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Lisa, and this is week 4 of June, science backed, soul supported, how to actually clock out and claim your summer weekend. Today is about the Friday evening pause, why mentally leaving work is the one thing that makes the long life truly yours. Let me name the thing first. There's a difference between being off work and being off work. You can close the laptop on Friday and still spend the whole weekend with a back of the mind hum, the unfinished thing, the Monday dread, the email you keep like half composing in your head. You know, you're supposed to be relaxing. Your body's at the barbecue, your mind's at your desk. And then Sunday night arrives and you genuinely cannot figure out why you don't feel rested. You had 2 whole days. Here's why. Rest isn't about time away from work. It's about attention away from work. And there's a researcher who has basically proven this. Sabine Sonnentag at the University of Mannheim has spent years studying what she calls recovery, how people actually refill after work. And one factor towers over the rest. She calls it psychological detachment, the ability to mentally switch off from work during your off hours, not just physically leaving, mentally leaving. Her research shows that people who detach well are less exhausted, in better moods, and report higher well-being. And people who stay mentally tethered to work, even on a beach, even on vacation, they don't recover, no matter how much time they technically have off. And notice what the tether actually costs you. It isn't only the minutes you spend thinking about work, it's that the unfinished thread runs in the background of everything else. So the whole weekend gets a faint gray coat of stress. So the whole weekend gets a faint gray coat of stress brushed over it. You're present for none of it at full strength. Sonnentag's research is almost stubborn on this point. It's the quality of your detachment, not the quantity of your time off, that predicts how recovered you feel come Monday, which is strangely freeing when you sit with it. It doesn't mean you need a longer weekend. You need a cleaner edge on the one you already have. So the weekend that restores you isn't the long one, it's the one you mentally left. And here's the practical key from her work. Detachment doesn't happen automatically. The brain doesn't flip a switch just because the clock hits 5, even though it's 5 o'clock somewhere all the time. What happens enormously is a deliberate transition ritual, a small repeated act that tells your nervous system that part of the day is over. That part is done and this part is beginning. So without the ritual, work just bleeds into the evening like ink into water. With it, you get a clean edge. This is exactly what question 4 is for: the pause, the breathe. What else should I be doing? Friday evening is the most important pause of the week, the seam between the work you were and the person you get to be for 2 days. And question 2 sharpens it because why am I doing this? Why am I still checking email at 8 o'clock on a Friday? Why is my body here, but my head is still in the meeting? The question catches the tether and lets you put it down. So let's build you a transition ritual because that's what the science says actually works. It can be almost anything as long as it's deliberate and repeated. Some people change clothes the second they're done, a literal costume change out of the work self. Some take a short walk and call it the commute home, even if they work from home, especially if they work from home. Some write down the 3 loose threads from the week so their brain stops rehearsing them, then close the notebook. Some have a single sentence they say out loud: the week is done. The point isn't which ritual. The point is that you draw a line on purpose. the same way each Friday, so detachment has somewhere to begin. And here's the summer of it. The long light is on your side this weekend. If you can mentally leave work by 6 on Friday, you've got hours of golden evening that are fully actually yours, not haunted and not half worked. That's not a luxury you have to earn. That's the whole reason a weekend exists. Here's today's challenge: build one transition ritual for tonight and do it on purpose. Write it down so you remember it next Friday. Either change your clothes, take a 10-minute walk, write down the week's 3 loose threads, and then close your notebook. Mark the line between work you and weekend you, and then actually step across it. So before the weekend starts, subscribe, click the little bell so that the Friday pause finds you every single week. Share this with someone who hasn't had a real day off in months, and comment the transition ritual you're using tonight so someone else can steal it. I read every comment, so I would love to hear your transition ritual. Then draw the line and step across it. You don't have to earn this weekend. The long light is already yours. So go be in it.